Hey everyone, it's Mariah from the Petite Planner, and I wanted to share my April setup with you today. I'm sticking with simple supplies again this month, my pencil to pre-sketch, eraser, and ruler. And then this month, we also need scissors to do a Dutch door layout. And I got some new markers. They're from Magic Fly, and I want to share more with you about them. They're pretty affordable, and you get tons of colors. So I am using only Magic Fly markers this month, including the black instead of my black pen. So I got these Magic Fly dual tip brush pens on Amazon. You get 100 colors, and they are double tipped with the brush end and the fine point. They really are 100 different colors, and they're less than $30. I think when I bought mine, they were about $28, and there's often a coupon, so you could save even more. It's a ton of markers, and I'm really liking using them. But the colors can be deceiving based on the caps, so you might want to do what I did and make your own little guide. I wrote numbers on the markers with Sharpies and then made a key for the colors. So this month, instead of using any of my favorite black pens, I'm going to use the black marker from the Magic Fly set, and I'm going to start with a quote page. My theme for the month is clouds. I was thinking along the lines of April showers brings May flowers, but then I just got hooked on clouds. So we're gonna see a lot of clouds in this month's setup. But going with that initial thought of rain, I came up with using the quote, when it rains, look for rainbows. I also only wanted to use shades of blue this month, but when we talk about a rainbow, you know me, and so there's gonna be rainbows, at least a little bit. But for all of the clouds, you're gonna see I'm gonna use a lighter blue and then a darker blue to outline. And all of these markers are from the Magic Fly set. So you can figure out what shades you like best and then use them. But this is what all my clouds are gonna look like. So I grabbed rainbow colors from the Magic Fly set and grabbed a blue, and I'm just going to draw straight lines down to create a rainbow. This is easy enough for anyone to do. You don't have to be a doodling or drawing expert to draw straight lines with your markers. So this is a great setup for bullet journalers of any level. I promise you can do this. If you want to do a setup like this and you don't have the Magic Fly set, you could use your Crayola markers. I'll link below both sets. I'll link my favorite Crayola set and this Magic Fly set. Or if you have Crayola Super Tips, which has a ton of colors when you get it, those would work great too. So I'll link all of those marker sets below. And the last step is always the eraser. As you know, I pre-sketch everything, and then I break out my handy eraser and make it all look like I never pre-sketched it. I'll do this probably as long as I do bullet journaling. So now for the April cover page for the month. This handwriting and lettering is just a style I think I've done since I was in elementary school. So nothing fancy for me this month. You can model this using mine or look up others that you like, or just go with a lettering style that you are comfortable with. And if you know me, you're gonna recognize this ruler. This is from my favorite set of rulers, and I do use it a lot this month. I usually use the squares in it, but this month I'm only using the ruler part. So you can use any ruler. Like I mentioned, for each cloud, I'm gonna do a lighter blue and outline with a darker blue. You'll see different combinations I have planned as I go through each page. On this one, I'm using my lightest blue I found, and then kind of a medium blue to outline each cloud. So they'll have similar looks, but they won't be exactly the same. And the shades of blue I'm using, you can use more if you want, but out of the Magic Fly set, I really found these 4 blues that all kind of went together, but that had a little bit of a difference so we could tell. There's also like a ton of teal colors, but these are more blue blues. Since I'll be using this lettering style throughout the whole setup, I planned to just do different combinations and patterns of the shades of blue. So for April, I decided to do the dark and then like a shade lighter on the P and the I, and one of the lightest shades on the I to give it, I guess, sort of an ombre look, kind of. And just some more proof that I do use an eraser. And we have our quote page and our monthly cover. I mentioned at the start of the video that I'm gonna do a Dutch door layout. I'll talk more about that in the end, but you'll see I've sketched out all the parts I'm gonna cut with my scissors at the end, so I won't be drawing anything there. I decided to keep these letters really kind of plain because I wanna put these clouds behind them. You could use that same lettering style I used on the front cover page, but you can do whatever you want, really. And I kind of wish maybe I had done that lettering style, but this is cute enough for me. And I'm just doing my clouds. I thought about adding extra clouds, but I don't want to overdo it. So just go crazy and do what you like. So for the monthly calendar, I am only using my ruler as a ruler. I'm not using the boxes. I wanted it all to be connected so I could put, if you can see the clouds I've sketched out, I could put some little clouds within the calendar. Again, the clouds are just going to be the light blue with a dark blue outline. And honestly, we'll see how much gets put in my monthly calendar this month. If your calendar is like mine and all the stuff going on right now with our lives, I don't have a lot of appointments or anything, but I still wanted a cute layout, and plus this takes my mind off everything else that's going on. And as you know, if you've got things going on that you just want to chat about, I'm here. You can send me a message, shoot me an email. I know we're all going through interesting times right now, and if you're someone that's dealing with mental health also, like you know I am, I'm here to chat. So feel free to reach out. But here I'm continuing the straight lines. And then for my days of the week, I'm keeping it so simple. This is just my handwriting in all capital letters. Except if you'll notice, I do my A's lowercase sometimes, but not always. And guess what? It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. Numbering the month, also just my handwriting. I'm really keeping it so simple this month so that everyone can do it if they want to set it up. And you could use this for any month. Clouds are great for any month of the year, right? Except maybe June. I feel like that needs sunshine. What do you think? And I actually meant to add some blue to my headings and forgot. I meant to do the blue color before I wrote the days of the week, but you can go back in with the Magic Fly markers and add it, and they don't seem to bleed much or anything. So my weekly spreads are all gonna have the Dutch door, so they don't take a full page. Yes, I'm still doing weekly spreads, even though I'll admit I'm not using them very much, but I'm having fun showing you some setups for them. You're gonna see that the weeklies for this month all look very similar. I'm just gonna change up the colors, well actually just the pattern of the colors, and put the clouds in different places. So with my lettering here, it's that same lettering style, and then I'm doing a pattern, skipping and filling everything in. And I'm just gonna change up that pattern for each week. So they all look very similar, but the colors are a little bit different. For these weeklies, I'm using 6 boxes because it fit well on the page, but I know that some people like to have 7 spaces for 7 days of the week. I don't mind my weekend sharing a box, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Are you more of a 7-box person? You like a space for every day of the week? Are you okay with having Saturday and Sunday share a box? Oh, and the question I always get asked about my weeklies and my monthly is that yes, I do start my weeklies on Monday because in my mind, that's the start of the work week, but I like my monthly to start on Sunday like the calendar. So I love my meal planning page from last month. And honestly, this month with everything that's going on, I felt like having a meal planning page could really be helpful as I look at what I have in my pantry and what I have in my refrigerator. And I'm trying to make grocery shopping trips with whatever's available to buy. So having meal planning can really help me at least do a little bit of planning versus trying to totally think on my feet when not everything is necessarily available at the grocery store. It's obviously a very interesting time right now, and if you didn't want to do a meal planning page like this, you could always kind of use this space for brain dump, or you could spread your week across both pages. Again, for this page, I'm just doing the clouds and the straight lines. I do have a box for each day of the week for meal planning because they are 7 days in the week, and I don't know, I'm just crazy, I guess. But again, this is just my simple handwriting for all of these day labels, and I'll do my shopping list in my handwriting as well. We'll just have to see if I actually use this month, but I'm hoping it will help me just take stock of what we have and what we need, and hopefully what we can find at the grocery store. So now you'll see I already did the rest of the weeks of the month. They all look very similar. Colors are just changed. Location of clouds are just changed. And the reason I wanted to do that was because of the Dutch door. And on the back then will be mood tracker, habits, and kind of a month in review page. Oh, huge thanks to everybody that always reaches out about this anxiety and depression tracker. I really hope it's helping y'all. I'm still tracking mine, looking for, if there's any trends. I'm possibly going to come up with a little different design that includes a notes place. But for this one, I used my ruler to make sure I had space for 30 clouds, one for each day. That's just me. I wanted them a little more organized. You could just hand draw 30 and rock it. I just needed mine a little more organized for this. But let me know if you might like to see an anxiety and depression tracker that also has a way to incorporate any little notes about events that went on so that you could track those as well. So once I draw my clouds, you cut them each in half so you can track anxiety on one side and depression on the other. And then make a color key. So I rank mine from 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 10. I'm gonna use the shades of blue again this month. Well, not again, but for this page this month. And start, I think, with lighter will be like the lower levels, and then the darkest one would be 9 to 10, where I'm either having full-blown anxiety attack or the depression is just overwhelming. So hopefully we'll see a lot of light blue. I hope all of you have a lot of light blue days too. And I'm not kidding, y'all. If you're on my email list, I reached out this week just to let you know I've been kind of quiet, and I want to chat with y'all, even if it's just to be like, hey, can I get a doodle of a cat? I will listen, and if that cheers you up, I can help you and we can work on some cat doodles. So please feel free to reach out to me, y'all, because I understand and I care about y'all. But I still hope we all somehow manage to have a lot of light blue days. So then the back page will be habit tracker, which will show the whole time once we make our Dutch doors. And then kind of a month in review page at the bottom here. This April highlights page, instead of being a super focused month in review, I'm gonna come up with 4 great things that happened this month. The habit tracker design I went with fits in the space and is really very basic. It's a basic, super simple little grid for my habits. I've been tracking 3 habits, so I'm just gonna continue working on those 3. Oh, I overdrew that line, but it's all right, y'all. You don't have to be perfect, right? I'm telling you that all the time. You don't have to be perfect. It really doesn't matter. You can fix that if you wanted, but I'm gonna leave it because it's fine. So the 3 habits I'm tracking are water, activity, and Pinterest. I need to do some Pinterest work for both sites. We'll see how it goes this month. So what I'm doing right here, right now, is drawing a little box for April highlights that will be where I can put some notes for things to think about next month in May. But the design on this is just these 4 big clouds. I'm gonna do the light shades of blue, 2 in each color. And at the end of the month, I am gonna focus on 4 good things that happened this month. So it's almost a gratitude page in a way, but also it'll force me to look back and focus on what was good. I feel like that's what we all really need right now, is to try to focus on what's good and what's going well. So that's my approach. It'll be a pretty low stress highlights month in review page, but it'll also make me take time to look back and to focus on the good and say thank you. So these clouds are all just hand drawn. This is one doodle that if you want help mastering, I can help you. I have been a cloud professional for many years, and really, it doesn't matter what they look like, y'all. They're cute, right? So for colors, I Use the light blues on habits to balance out the big clouds, and then the darker blues on April highlights to break up the page a little bit. But you can see how both pages still go together in this setup. And then my favorite part about an eraser and pencil is that if you decide last minute you don't like something and you don't really want to include it, you can erase it and it's gone. So I thought I wanted these little clouds, but I really think I like just the big clouds. So the clouds are gone. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on our Dutch door part of the setup. Dutch door refers to the two-piece doors where one part swings open. So we're actually gonna be removing part of our pages, so there's an open part. When we're cutting, we want to watch the binding because you don't want to cut too close and end up losing pages on the other side of your journal. You can use an X-Acto knife to get a really close cut or scissors. We all have scissors. These Westcott scissors are some of my favorites and I've linked them below. They give a really smooth cut and that's what's most important, a pair of scissors that are gonna have a really smooth cut. I pre-sketched my cutting lines so I could make sure across the pages I got them measured correctly. And I was cutting the same size on each page. I have about 5 or 6 pages, I think, to cut here. So, I mean, if you had some mighty scissors, you could cut them all, but that sounds like a hot mess to me. So I'm gonna cut them one at a time. Takes a little bit longer, but you're gonna get that nice even cut that makes it look good. Once you're ready, you're just gonna cut on that line straight across, close to the binding, without cutting the binding. And then turn your journal, notebook, and I usually press it flat. Then I lay my scissors flat against my notebook and try to do one smooth cut to get the paper out. You're gonna have a little tab of paper left, but I prefer leaving it because it means that your binding is gonna be protected and you can see it's gonna stay strong. You're not gonna lose any pages, and that's what's most important to me. So our first weekly had the Dutch door cut, and you can see April on the top now. So then you just finish cutting the rest of the pages. Mine are already marked out for me, so I can just cut them very carefully. And we're gonna build up that little tab in the middle, but you really don't notice it once you've got everything cut. And you just keep repeating these steps for each page that you want to cut and have your back or front pages show. It's the same process for every single page. Now you'll see that depending on the thickness of your paper, you might be able to get away with cutting more than one page at a time. But I would recommend probably not doing more than 2 at a time to make sure you get a smooth cut across that top of the page. I have 2 pages left and this paper's pretty thick in this notebook. So I was still able to cut fairly smoothly with 2 pages. And with the last cut, the Dutch door setup is done. You can see how I have the cover and the quote page look normal. And when you turn the page, we have our calendar layout for the month. You can see the habits the whole time. Flip back, and then the months are each on their own little page. But I can see my April header and my habits throughout the entire month, no matter what week we're in. My binding is protected. As you can see, the pages aren't gonna fall out, and we're good to go. So this month, I really just wanted to show you how you could take a single doodle, a few colors, and make an easy layout that's also really cute, and to show you that you can make a Dutch door too. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you like it. I'd love to hear what you think. Be sure to give me a little thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more of what I'm doing this month. And again, thank you all, and I hope you have a great month. Bye guys.